not long to go then. Liverpool will be playing Manchester City. Are you nervous? Are you scared? I'm looking forward to it, actually. I think it's going to be a good game. It always is, isn't it? It's like a cup final every single time we play Manchester City. It doesn't matter where it is, what time it is, who's fit, who's not. Everyone always gets up for it. It's a great game. And yeah, it feels comparable to the Real Madrid game, honestly. It's hard to compare to a European night at Anfield, but it is an exciting game, especially in the current situation where we've had a bad run of form and now we seem to be coming into confidence and good results, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I thought I'd do one of these. Thought I'd do a tactical lineup thing before the City game. I did one of these for the Villa game. We actually then went on to win the Villa game and actually played quite a similar team to what I said we should play. Slight differences. I've pulled this up. This right here is the squad that I left last time when I did a video on fixing Liverpool before the Villa game. So this was essentially what I said we should have played against Villa. So if we assess this, backline, absolutely spot on. The midfield, Jones was obviously injured, so we actually played McAllister. But other than that, that's exactly what I said. And then up front, Gakpo, Ekitike and Wirtz was slightly wrong. He went with Salah on the right, which I thought was okay. Wasn't detrimental to the game. I thought Salah did okay. So let's just change this out to be Salah, because I think everybody would agree that he's starting to gain some confidence and come into the team again now. We need to look at some factors when we're choosing this lineup with City. One of them obviously is the game time that everybody has had recently, because we would love to be able to say, oh, let's just play exactly the same team, but whether they are going to be fit or not is another question. Currently it's Thursday when I'm recording this video, and obviously it's too early to have had the pre-press conference before the Man City game, so I've no idea who's fit, who's not. We've just had the news that Ryan Gravenberch and Dominic Szoboszlai could be having new contract talks with Liverpool, which is great. They're obviously going to be in the team. There's no way to flip that. They are going to be in the team here. So I realised I had Alisson Becker in here as well, because this was my ideal lineup. Obviously, we know that Becker is going to be out. Unfortunately, we don't have Ali this weekend. We know that Frimpong and Ali are out. And the last we heard was that Isaac will not start, most probably, but could potentially be in the squad. So he could be somebody that comes on, which is fine. Mamardashvili in for Alisson in goal. I think Andy Robertson at left back is crucial. Absolutely needs to start. This entire back line has been so much more stable with Andy Robertson coming in. And why is that? Well, I don't think it's a reflection on Kirk as a bad player. I don't think that he is. I think that we know that he's got potential and he's a great character and has got the confidence and the swagger on the pitch. I just think that coming into this Liverpool team, he's going to take a little bit of time to settle. And with that, I think that when he plays that role at left back, because he's not in the same positions that Andy Robertson is, he doesn't quite understand the pressing movement and where he should be all of the time. Quite often, Virgil is looking across and going, where's Kirkez at? And then that unsettles Virgil van Dijk. That then, when Van Dijk is unsettled, we know that unsettles Konate. And when Konate is unsettled, how can we possibly expect Conor Bradley to be fully confident? Because he's constantly having to push in and cover for Konate and stuff. And obviously, we didn't have Gravenberch at the time as well, and we was losing these games. So it was extremely fragile at the back. These two coming back into the team has been crucial to us not losing games and also not conceding. 2 clean sheets. 2 clean sheets without Alisson. Mad. So, yes, Andy Robertson absolutely needs to start at left back, in my opinion. Virgil van Dijk, Konate at the back, of course. And Conor Bradley had an absolutely blinding game against Real Madrid again. He loves it, doesn't he? He loves playing against Real Madrid. I mean, if he can please take Vinicius Jr. out of his pocket before he gets on the pitch this weekend, because I feel like it might weigh him down just a little bit. And obviously, he probably wants to get back to Spain and start playing again. So, yeah, Conor Bradley, I have nothing but good words to say about that man. He is incredible. And yes, he is definitely gaining confidence again after that injury. He needs to start. It's got to be said. Same with Ryan Gravenberch. I know he's had some fitness issues recently. I think he needs to start this game, even if it's a matter of he can't play the full 90 minutes. If we can hopefully get the job done by 75 minutes in, Gravenberch potentially, we can take him off, bring on Wataru Endo and kill off the game, Just have Endo drop back and just work defensively. But Gravenberch, I think, for both his defensive and his distribution quirks, he needs to start this weekend. Same with Dominic Szoboszlai. He did some incredible runs this weekend. I mean, I'm also going to put McAllister in the midfield because I think, again, in the space of a couple of weeks, he's proved us all wrong. He's gone from not playing very well and not playing like McAllister last year at all to playing exactly like Prime McAllister last year. I mean, his game against Real Madrid I thought was really good. There was just a couple of tiny little defensive holes. There was a couple of times he got ran through, but it wasn't honestly an issue because Gravenberch was here. There was never a time when he left it completely open and there was a run through. And even when he did, our backline was there to deal with it. And I think Arne Slot will probably play a similar way this weekend where he's not making Robertson and Bradley be as brave as they would usually and probably looking across to see, okay, is he staying back? Then I can run forwards and vice versa because you kind of always need to have a rotating at least 3-4 players at the back at all times when you're playing against teams like Man City that can just kill you with Haaland. We just need to keep Haaland quiet. That's the thing. So yes, I think these two need to start in midfield. I thought McAllister was great and Dominic Szoboszlai. There was one thing that he was doing this weekend. I don't know if anybody picked up on this. I'm just going to put in a opposition player here. I'm just going to, for example, Huijsen. So he was trying to distribute from the back this weekend. So if we look at how we was pressing against Real Madrid, I'm not going to do a massive tactical breakdown of Real Madrid. I think anybody with eyes can see how we played that game. But I just want to point this out for Dominic Szoboszlai because he has just been incredible and continued to show that this weekend. So when we're pressing this weekend with Real Madrid, we obviously don't want to give too much away. But we was pushing up. Ekitike was sort of sitting here, and obviously we had Wirtz on, but we'll just pretend that's Wirtz for now. So Wirtz didn't really know. He was kind of the only one in the front five that wasn't fully involved with the pressing. It wasn't fully clicking, which I don't think mattered too much because he was making a lot happen when it come to the attacking. But there's definitely a lot to be said about he's still learning the Liverpool system. He's still learning the way. Everybody kind of knew what they were doing, and he was the only one that kind of, at some points when Real Madrid were attacking, and this is not a criticism of Wirtz at all, he's so new to the team. He needs to learn this. Everybody else has had years on him. He was kind of the only one that wasn't in the right position sometimes and needed to be covered. But there was positions where Dean Huijsen was trying to play out from the back. And we had these sort of holes here, and there'd be a couple of players sort of here. I'm just going to put some random players in here. I'm not going to fill out the entire Real Madrid sheet because, as I said, I'm not doing a full tactical breakdown. But there'd be a couple of players here that he was looking to distribute to. And Mo Salah's obviously trying to cover this. But then there's other players sort of in here. And this was all kind of very open because we had this sort of press, sort of like this. Dominic Szoboszlai was just pressing relentlessly on the centre-backs of Real Madrid. And he didn't even really, if you look at his duel stats, he didn't even really make that many tackles. He didn't have to because his job wasn't even really to tackle. Now, don't get me wrong. He's not just a dummy, right? Because Dominic Szoboszlai is capable of tackling a ball. And if he gets the ball here, they know he's going to go on and score, right? He's able to just shoot and score. So that's not a risk worth taking. He's not just a dummy player that's just running and pressing on players for no reason. If he gets the ball, it's going to be a dangerous position. So he was essentially, the ball comes out from the keeper here. In fact, I think I can put the ball in, yeah. So the ball comes out from the keeper here. He's got the ball. Dominic Szoboszlai immediately, and with his pace, is running, sprinting, which then forces him to, oh shit, I need to pass this ball. Now, he can't pass to here because Mo Salah's got him. He can't pass there because Szoboszlai has basically blocked that passing lane, and Ekitike is in here and Wirtz is here, so he can't pass there. So he's having to just kick the ball and hope that it's just going to get to a Real Madrid player. It doesn't. Gravenberch gets the ball, passes it back to Dominic Szoboszlai, passes it straight to Ekitike, and he's through. Then the centre-backs are like, shit, we need to get back. Watch this space. I think there's a lot to be said about how Arne Slot is making Dominic Szoboszlai play at the moment, and it's all positives. Don't get me wrong, it's all positives. He's crucial to this team, as are a lot of players, but he definitely seems to be doing a lot of legwork in terms of making things happen. Anyway, as I said, I don't want this to be a Real Madrid tactical breakdown. I just wanted to point that out because I thought it was really, really marvellous from Dominic Szoboszlai. So back to how we line up on the weekend then. He goes in there, obviously. I do think, if I'm honest with you, that we have to play Wirtz again on the left. Whether he will or not, I don't know, because obviously Gakpo he always gets a lot of playtime, and that's deserved. But I do think that Florian Wirtz actually brought a really different prospect to left wing this weekend. I thought he brought a whole different way of playing, a whole different style. He wasn't just glued to the left. Gakpo's got quite a predictable run, hasn't he? He'll run. He'll get to here, he'll turn in, and then he'll either pass the ball or he'll go for a shot on goal. Wirtz was kind of here. He was pushing in here where Ekitike was there, and Wirtz was here, and he was almost overlapping here. And that was fine because Szoboszlai was pushing out here, so it wasn't exactly a gap. And Robertson would be pushing up there. So it wasn't like we was left, right. But what it did create was a lot of panic, because the people that were instructed to mark Wirtz on the left here, they were then being pushed in field, which was then creating gaps. So then you have this conundrum. Do you run with Wirtz into the middle and try and mark him here because he's obviously a threat? But then you leave a gap for Dominik Szoboszlai, who's also a threat. If Szoboszlai gets to here, he can either shoot. This is prime Szoboszlai. That is where he wants to be, right? That's leaving him in the exact position where his favourite free kicks are from. He can shoot from here and get it in. Szoboszlai is probably one of the few players on the pitch that can do that, and has done that multiple times in the last year. So do you run with Wirtz and leave Szoboszlai's gap? Do you stay here and mark Szoboszlai and then leave Wirtz to be a threat? Or do you move some of the players that are marking Mohamed Salah, who again is a threat, and some of the deeper players, do you push them back? So we actually pushed Real Madrid right the way where we wanted them to be. And they weren't able to do that all of the time because they obviously needed to score a goal. So that left more gaps. Ekitike was getting loads of balls. It was great. So yeah, I actually think Florian Wirtz looked extremely confident. I think that was his best game in a Liverpool shirt so far. And I genuinely don't know how you drop him for the City game after that. So sorry, Gakpo. For my team this week, Florian Wirtz comes in on the left wing. That's my team for Man City. Unchanged from the game against Real Madrid. It works. I think the momentum is with them. And I think it's good to have a bit of consistency and know where everybody's playing. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Genuinely intrigued. Would you bring Gakpo back in on the left instead of Wirtz and drop him to the bench? My starting lineup. Back to a 4-3-3. Looking like that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And also any score predictions. I don't do them. I don't like doing them. But I would like to know what you think. And do you agree with my starting 11 for Man City?